Okay, let's dive right into this. So, if you're in the world of business-to-business growth, our sources highlight a really fundamental truth that we all just have to accept. Not all customers are created equal, right? Some companies might buy from you once, some might become these amazing long-term strategic partners, and some could literally generate millions in revenue for you over time. And that is exactly why casting this wide, super generic marketing net doesn't always make a ton of sense. If you want to win those massive, high-value accounts, you need a highly focused strategy. So welcome to this explainer on account-based marketing.
Here's a quick roadmap for our explainer today. We're going to cover 1. What ABM actually is, 2. How it compares to traditional marketing, 3. The execution playbook, 4. Team alignment, 5. Measuring success, and we'll wrap up with number 6, looking at a real-world campaign.
All right, Section 1. What is account-based marketing? Targeting high-value accounts.
So, account-based marketing, or ABM, is essentially a B2B growth strategy where your marketing and sales teams work tightly together to target specific, high-value companies with really personalized campaigns. So instead of saying, hey, let's just market to everyone and see who happens to respond, ABM says, actually, these are the exact companies we want to win. Now let's go build a strategy to reach, engage, and convert them. It is incredibly targeted. Think of it like a sniper rifle, not a shotgun.
And the reason we absolutely need this kind of precision is because B2B deals are, well, they're incredibly complex. You are rarely just selling to one single person. If you're pitching a corporate AI training program, for instance, you've got to win over HR, IT, finance, procurement, and probably even legal. That whole group, that's your buying committee. And generic marketing usually falls completely flat here, because a one-size-fits-all message just isn't going to convince both a deeply technical IT director and a super budget-conscious finance manager. You have to influence multiple different stakeholders inside that exact same account.
Moving on to Section 2, Traditional versus Account-Based Marketing, the paradigm shift.
Okay, so traditional lead generation usually starts with this massive, broad audience. You create content, you attract leads, you qualify them, and then you basically toss them over the fence to sales. It fundamentally asks the question, who is interested in us? But ABM, it completely flips the script. You actually start with your target accounts. You select the companies, you research them, you figure out who the decision makers are, and then you personalize the engagement to build those relationships. So instead, ABM is asking, who do we want to win?
Which brings us to Section 3, the ABM execution playbook, a step-by-step guide.
So here is your sequential playbook, and it all kicks off with Step 1, defining your ideal customer profile, or ICP. This is absolutely foundational. You literally can't build a list if you don't know what a good customer actually looks like. Things like their industry, their revenue, their specific pain points. Once you've got that nailed down, Step 2 is building out your target list. Step 3 is researching those specific accounts super deeply for any buying signals. Step 4 is finding that buying committee we were just talking about. Step 5 is creating the messaging. And finally, Step 6 is choosing the right channels to actually deliver it.
Now, how does Step 5, creating that messaging, actually look in the real world? Well, imagine we're selling that corporate AI training again. If we're reaching out to the HR director, a strong, personalized ABM message speaks directly to their daily reality. Notice how this targets structured AI upskilling and measurable learning outcomes. It hits the nail on the head for their specific role and their specific headaches.
But watch what happens when we go to talk to the chief technology officer at that exact same target account. The product is exactly the same, but the pitch, completely different. We're not talking about HR learning outcomes anymore. Now we're talking about practical skills aligned to real business use cases for technology teams. It's the exact same offer, but a totally different persona. And honestly, that is the magic of ABM messaging.
Let's look at Section 4, the power of team alignment, breaking down silos.
So there are 4 highly distinct roles required to make this work. And listen, if your teams are working in silos, your ABM strategy is going to fall apart immediately. Marketing creates the personalized campaigns and content. Sales uses that to actually build the relationships and run the outreach. Revenue operations, or RevOps, is basically the glue. They manage the account tracking, data routing, and the dashboards so nobody gets lost in the shuffle. And definitely don't forget partnerships. They provide those warm introductions into target accounts, which, let's be real, is infinitely more effective than a cold email. Because think about it, if marketing runs an expensive ad and sales doesn't follow up, the whole effort is totally wasted. Total alignment across these teams is just non-negotiable. All right, Section 5, measuring success in ABM, quality over quantity.
Traditional marketing kind of obsesses over things like lead volume, cost per lead, and email opens. But in ABM, those numbers can honestly be a huge distraction. We care about ABM metrics, things like overall account engagement, the actual meetings booked with target accounts, and the pipeline generated from those specific companies. Let me put it into perspective for you. In the ABM world, getting 10 meetings with the exact right target accounts is vastly more valuable than pulling in 1,000 random leads who are literally never going to buy your product.
So how do we actually know if an account is warming up? Well, we look for account engagement signals. Remember how RevOps tracks all that data? They aren't just scoring one isolated lead, they're scoring the entire account. If, say, 3 different people from the same target company visit your website, a director attends your webinar, and then a partner introduces you to their CEO, that account is scoring incredibly high. Even if no single person ever filled out a generic requested demo form, the account as a whole is showing massive intent.
Let's bring this all together in Section 6, a real-world ABM campaign, the Uplatz corporate training case study.
Let's see how this all builds up over time. In week 1, Uplatz defines their ICP, and they build a tiered list of exactly 200 mid-sized and large UK companies that are investing in digital transformation. Then in week 2, marketing starts running these highly targeted LinkedIn ads, putting tailored messaging right in front of the specific HR and IT directors at those 200 companies. Fast forward to week 4, they host an industry-specific webinar that addresses those exact pain points. By week 6, RevOps has tracked exactly who is engaging with all this, and sales steps right in with highly personalized outreach, offering a free consultation that references the company's specific AI initiatives. It's just a beautifully coordinated multi-channel approach. There's no random guessing here, just pure, focused execution.
And that brings us to the core takeaway of this entire explainer. In B2B growth, the goal is not always to generate the most leads. The ultimate goal is to win the right accounts. If you take literally nothing else away from today, let it be this paradigm shift. It is so much better to deeply engage with the 50 companies that could completely transform your business than to get mild, lukewarm interest from 5,000 companies that won't.
So I want to leave you with a question to really challenge your own go-to-market strategy today. Look at your current pipelines, look at your campaigns, and look at your team's alignment, and ask yourself honestly, are you just trying to generate the most leads possible, or are you actually building a strategy to win the right accounts? The answer to that might just change the entire trajectory of your business growth. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep focused, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.